Life of the Yeager household has been amazing. I need to say again, thanks to Travis for covering for me last week when I was sick. And it's a cool thing to stay in bed for about 19 hours. It was pretty wonderful. I was pretty happy by the end of that. But it actually started earlier in the week with Addison getting sick, then Jocelyn getting sick, then me getting sick, then Shell and Tori getting sick, and it's just been an adventure in our household. If you're on Facebook, you can go to Shell's page and see the excitement over the weekend. It's not something we should talk about from up front. Yeah, at least not with Cindy here. So you can check that out. Yeah, to see the life of the Yeagers. But it included a concussion. It's been an adventure. And coming out of that, on Monday, our doctor, Addison's our 1-year-old, gives us a call, and everything else is working fine. I'm going to go here. The rest of the sound system is working except for my microphone, so we'll do this. Addison's doctor. Okay.
Went from a baritone to a tenor.
It's fun how that happened, didn't it? Yeah. I'm suddenly much higher. Anyway, Addison's doctor called us on her day off, and you've got a really good doctor if they call you on their day off from like their cell phone or their home phone. And so I've been looking over Addison's records, and Addison, our 1-year-old, gets sick on a 2-week schedule. About every 2 weeks, she's sick. It's driving us nuts. And so she's looking at this and going, you know, I think I'm seeing a couple things. And she'd already scheduled us or referred us to go to an infectious disease doc and a gastrointestinal doc this week to figure out more of what's going on with our baby. And so she calls us and says, yeah, I think we need to do something else, and we need to go and have another urine cath done. If you know what a urine catheter is, this is fun. You know what a catheter is? With a baby, they empty the bladder, and this test that they wanted to do, they empty the bladder, fill it back up, and on x-ray watch it drain, to fill it back up and watch it drain to see if she's got reflux, urine reflux. And so I get the lucky thing that my wife has to be in class when they can do the test. So that means that I get to take Addie to the doctor. Now, this will be her 3rd catheter, urine cath that's been done. All 3, I might add, I got the pleasure of being there with her for. The fact that she goes to me at all at this point is a miracle of God, that she even acknowledges my existence without screaming and crying. So we go in, and we go into St. Luke's outpatient in Meridian. We go into the waiting room. And it was one of those mornings, and it's spring break, so spring break, the kids being in school is really helpful for me because it gives that deadline when you have to be out of the house, because the kids got to go to school. Without that deadline, it gets a little flexible, and they've been one of those mornings, and so I took her to the hospital in her PJs, and I've got her clothes, so in the waiting room, I'm kind of, changing her real quick, and she's a happy girl. Like, she's at an all-time happy level. I've got vanilla wafers that she's munching on, having a great old time. She's apparently learned how to eat from me, so she puts an entire vanilla wafer in her mouth at one time, and then just her stuff, and it's so much fun, and she's really, really happy. And she's flirting with people in the waiting room, she's walking around, it's all good, and they come out and they're like, okay, Addison, that's us. Hi, Addison, you have a deep voice. And I pick her up, and I carry her back, and they go back through the big door. And you know that you've gone from the waiting room into the rest of the hospital when you go through that door, and everything changes. It goes from carpet to tile. The walls change. It just starts to feel, you're now in the scary world. And she's been around doctors and nurses enough that her little radar goes, doink, I don't think this is a good thing. They take us into this little cubicle with a little curtain to change her and strip her down to her diaper. And at this point, there's a medical person that's there, and she's starting to get worried because she may be, almost 16 months, but she's no dummy. And I think, Dad, that you tricked me, and the vanilla wafers were a bad ruse. I'll give them back if you want. Can we make a deal that nothing else happens here? So I take her clothes off, wrap her in her blanket, and the nurse comes back, and then they take you into the room, and the room is even worse than everything else, because they can't, Randy, why is it that they can't make these rooms inviting? You walk in, there's weird lighting and white machinery and an uncomfortable chair, and it just screams, this is going to hurt.
They don't want to lie to you. I mean,
So I take her, and they're like, okay, take her now, and we're going to take the diaper off. I'm thinking, that's just funny. Take the diaper off, and we're going to lay her down on the bed, or on this table. And I take her, and the thing about Addison is, one of the reasons I think she hasn't gained weight is because she's so active. Out of all of our kids, I think she's the one that hates being restrained the most. You just hold her tight, and she gets angry, very, very angry. So we take the diaper off, I put her on the table, and Dad, you get to help hold her. It takes 3 adults to hold this child down. She's screaming, and it's the angry, why are you holding me down? I have a life to live. You will not constrain me. I can't wait till she's a teenager scream.